perspective, starting with like this mobility and flexibility, and just kind of the battle between both of them.
Yeah, I mean, so we would say I think a oversimplification, but a general definition that I think a lot of trainers and even into the clinical side can agree on is we'll get into a couple big words, and I'll try not to use very many because I've been shamed for using big words by my friends. Uh, but the flexibility is basically the ability to achieve a length or range of motion through a joint, right, passively. So that means that without gravitational interference, I can take somebody's arm, shoulder, or into a position. Uh, Mobility starts to define that as, what can you take your arm into by yourself, not passively but actively. Uh, you know, and that is the very opening of the rabbit hole. And how far do we want to get into that, and how deep does that go? Yes, forever. Um, but and I really really like your point where you talk about, like, somewhere in the early mid 90s, if you want to find like a pop culture reference, this is Madonna finding yoga, because that was what brought yoga to America. I think it even gets a little bit into the sports world via old Dennis Rodman, Madonna, uh, you know, courtship, that lending itself into the Phil Jackson and Chicago Bulls mystique, and suddenly you saw this flexibility stretch training
Yeah,
uh, inside America's super team. And I think that has a huge cultural course, just in itself. But they were very uh, they were very um, uh, um, you know binaural. It was one or the other. And I think that carries over to today. And I think when you look at, if you're feeling tight, if you are a exercise novice, and you just simply feel tight, and that is a feeling that your back mechanism is, my back is tight every single day.
yeah,
Clearly, it feels tight. I know what tight feels like, so I obviously have to stretch that. And if you simply start to look at lower back stretches, if you Google lower back stretches, and then ask a clinician to look at these stretches in this day and age, most of your clinicians are going to tell you that is the wrong thing to be doing for your lower back pain.
yeah,
Uh, you know, and so we looked, the flexibility. Another way to look at it is lines of length that cross maybe multiple joints. You know, and where I think we really start to turn into how mobility plays into the athlete rather than flexibility is you will often see, if a functional line of tissues crosses multiple joints, well, you'll find points of that in between joints that are rather immobile, and then further up or down the chain, you'll find points of that line that are excessively mobile. And I think that's where really the skill starts to take play, as far as finding out what is a normal, healthy range of motion first, and then what do you need to do for your activity or sport, because then that goes next.
yeah. Right.
Now we just got to find what are the weak points here, and how can we address them.